The word olam, its root, as the Hebrew language works with the roots of the word, is the same as he'elam, which means hidden. Why is it that the Hebrew word for world means hidden? Because the world is doing one thing to us. It's hiding the deeper reality. It's actually, and this is the fascinating thing about the Hebrew language, which is far more sophisticated, hands down, than any other language, because every single word has a meaning. It's not just a random sound so we can refer to a table, to a projector, to a chair, to whatever it may be. It actually has a meaning. The meaning of the word world, olam, is from the word he'elam, which means hidden, because the world is hiding the reality from us. So this is absolutely basic in the message God's giving to us. When you look at the world, you need to know what it's doing really is playing a game with you. It's hiding. And that's, I'm not sure if this is exactly what Einstein meant, but this is what he said. He said, we have created a society that honors the servant and has forgotten the gift. We created a society that honors the servant and has forgotten the gift. And I bet that every single one of us can look into our lives and understand how very often we are honoring the servant. We're honoring the shadow instead of, and we're totally forgetting about the gift that's behind the shadow. When we appreciate that there's a gift behind the shadow, we realize what a wealth there is, and we stop selling ourselves to the shadow, to the servant. You know how it is sometimes when you come into some place and you think you just introduced yourself to the CEO, and then you find out that person actually just runs the filing cabinets or something, or whatever it is, right? Which is wonderful, but that person's not the CEO. And then sometimes inappropriately, because every human being is of tremendous value, we say, oh, and then the conversation ends there. But what really is happening is we're confusing roles in the company. And when we confuse roles, we make very big mistakes. You're not going to be able to cut a deal with the guy who files the paperwork, but you can cut a deal with the CEO. And this is a tremendous gift that God has given us. The gift to understand that the world is hiding a deeper reality. Let me ask you all a question. I want everyone reads English here, right? So let's read this together. Today, anyone? Today, we are going to discuss how to begin to see the true reality of things and not be sold to their external image. You all got that? Okay. Now I have a question for you. How many words in the previous sentence began with the letter T? Anyone? You're not going to even bother guessing. One. Today. Do you know what's funny? Let's go back. Today, we are going to discuss how to begin to see the true reality of things and not be sold to their external image. 8, right? Not one of us, and I'm sure that we have we're all very highly intelligent people, but none of us picked up on that. How many of you heard of a spy, one of Israel's best spies, called Eli Cohen? You remember him? Some of you remember him? Fascinating spy. Due to his efforts, sadly, he was caught by the Syrians and hung. He almost became their defense minister. He was so good. And one of the things that he did was when they gave him a tour of the Golan Heights, which was in Syrian hands before the 1967 war, and he gave them a wonderful suggestion. He said, what you should do is, you have your soldiers sitting in bunkers under the baking sun. It's going to weaken them. You should plant eucalyptus trees by every single bunker so that they're shaded. And then sent a message off to Israel, wherever there's a eucalyptus tree in the Golan Heights, you got to make sure you have a bomb for it. And guess what? That actually ensured that they won the Golan Heights in the 1967 war. Now, how did Eli Cohen get his job? If you read his biography, you will know, a biography that was written about him. When he first interviewed with the Mossad, the director of the Mossad was interviewing him, and as he was interviewing him, he opened up a drawer, that you have in your desk, and he was pulling out paper clips and rubber bands and pens and this and that and the other thing, through an hour interview, whatever it may have been. And at the end of the interview, you know what he asked him? He said, I want you to tell me everything I played with while I was interviewing you in the order that I played with it. And you know what Eli Cohen did? He told him every single thing in the order. Wow. Because Eli Cohen learned something from Sherlock Holmes. What he learned is, I see no more than you, but I have trained myself to notice what I see. And this is a tremendous art. This is the treasure that Einstein was talking about, the master as opposed to the servant, which is not noticing and just noticing what we see as opposed to what is really going on.